How are you doing today? Hi, Saga. Good morning. Hi, Banu. Hi, Shruti. Monica. Good morning. Hi, Vishnu Priya. Sarvesh. Good morning. Hi. Hi. Good morning. Hi, Kalyan. Good morning. Sorry. Yesterday there were no class. I was not well, and I'm now slowly recovering. So that was an unavoidable time that I should take a leave. Yeah. Thank you for understanding. All right, so let's jump on. So guys, are you ready for shootout round? No, all good. I just health problem. So yeah. Okay, let's do this. I want everyone to answer it. Okay, I want everyone to put it so that you can understand. You can understand that how far you are. All right, so what is a region? It's a geographical area. Region is a geographical area. Okay, good. And what is availability zone? Availability zones are simply a data center. Okay. And which is the region that we should be using it in our codes? Mumbai. And what is the region code of Mumbai? AP minus South minus 1. And what are the availability zone names in Mumbai? There are 3, but what are those names? 1A, 1B, and then 1C. Okay. Availability zones can interconnect with each other. That means network are interconnected. Yes. And regions can talk to each other by default? No. So is it always better to launch all the machines in one availability zone or to distribute? Distribute is always better. And what are the 3 important T's to have high availability? I mean, RMF, redundancy monitoring and failover. And guys, what is auto scaling? Scale out and then scale in is called auto scaling. Very good. And what is scalability? Scale up and scale down is called the scalability, or increasing the capacity of the server is called scalability. Very good. And which is a service where you can go and launch servers or virtual machines? What is the full form of EC2? Elastic Compute Cloud. What are servers called in EC2? Instances. And what is load balancer called in EC2? ELB. ELB is completely managed by AWS. ELB is a server or a service? Service. Is it possible to log into the ELB or access the ELB? Access the ELB. How? Using the DNS name. Does ELB is specific to any availability zone? No, it is created regionally. And which is the service where you can go in easily and quick deployment of all your applications? Elastic Beanstalk. Do we need to really care about what Elastic Beanstalk is doing? And who is the backbone of Elastic Beanstalk? EC2. Do we have access to that EC2? Yes. But do we need to really worry by managing those EC2? No. Which is a service where everything is readily available, you just need to choose it? Light sail. And which is the service will trigger based on the events? Lambda. Lambda is server based or serverless? Serverless. And which is, okay, what is okay, I have lots of photos files. So which is the service where you recommend to put my, yes, what is the full form of S3? Simple storage service. Simple storage service. S3 is what based storage? Object based storage. So in S3, what do we create? In S3, what do we create? Buckets. What does the bucket contains? Objects. What is the object name called? Key. Nice. Okay. And S3 is global or regional? Global. And buckets are regional. Is it possible to install, run any files or databases in S3? No. And S3 has a special feature. What is that? Static website hosting. Very nice. What are hard disk called in EC2? Volumes, EBS volumes. What is the default volume called? What are the rest of the volumes called? How many root volumes you can have per instance? Can we have multiple additional volumes? What does the root volume contains all the time? What is the device name of the root volume? /dev/sda1. What is the maximum size of EBS volume? 16 terabyte. Do we need to pre-provision it? My volume, how much I need? Yes. Is it possible to increase the size of the volume on fly? Yes. Is it possible to decrease the volume size? No. Is it possible to detach the root volume while EC2 is running? No. What you need to do for that first? Stop the EC2 instance and then detach it. Is it possible to detach additional volume while EC2 is running? Yes, but is it not recommended? EC2 has availability zones and the volumes has availability zones. Volumes and availability zones, I mean, EC2 instance and volume should be in the same availability zone. Yes. 1A volume can be attached to 1B EC2 instance. Definitely. No. So is it possible to share the volume to multiple EC2 instances at the same time? No. Which concept that we need for that? EFS. What is the full form of EFS? Elastic File System. Elastic File System is limited or unlimited? Unlimited. What is the protocol that it uses? NFS. EFS is completely managed by AWS. And EFS is for Linux or for Windows? For Linux. For Windows, what service? FSX. And EFS can and you can mount to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. Yes? Yes. Which is a service is used for archiving purpose? Glacier. I have a huge amount of data on premises. I want to move physically from on premises to AWS. Snow family. What are the three members do we have in the Snow family? Snow cone, Snow edge, and Snow mobile. All these members will push the data to which service in AWS? S3. And I have on-premises storage and then AWS storage. If I want to connect to both of them, storage gateway, which is a service where I can go and set up my own RDBMS databases. RDS. RDS is a database or a database service? It's a service. How many engines that RDS provides? 6. What are those? Mom PMA. Which is the AWS baby inside that? Aurora. Which is the NoSQL databases in AWS? DynamoDB. And which is the data warehouse concept in AWS? Redshift. And I need to cache my database, the frequently accessed database. Then which is the service is used for caching purpose? Elastic Cache. Elastic Cache supports 2 engines. Redis and memcached. I want to secure my entire infrastructure. All my infrastructure should be inside that what? VPC. What is the full form of VPC? Virtual Private Cloud. VPC is regional or global? Regional. How many VPCs you can have per region? 5. 2 VPCs can talk to each other by default? No. I set up my own load balancer and load balancers provides a nasty DNS name. And how do I do the makeup? Which service is that? Route 53. Why 53 there? What port number? DNS port number is 53. Whenever I hit my website in AWS, which service will hit first? Route 53 itself. I have my on premises and I have AWS. I need to have a dedicated connection from on premises to AWS. Which service do you support for that? Direct connect. I have my application in one region and I want to have a low latency across the global. So which service do you use in order to achieve that kind of requirement? CloudFront. And CloudFront has what? Edge locations. And edge locations is used for what? For application caching. And all these edge locations are connected using CDN. Is it possible to remove the cache from edge location? Yes. How? Invalidate the cache. Invalidate cache. So I need to create users. So which service do you recommend to create users in order to access my console? IAM. In IAM, there are two types of users. What are those? Root user and IAM user. And which is the super user here? Root user. And IAM user has limited permissions. Yes. And how to handle multiple root accounts using organizations, and how to control the permissions using CPs. Which is the service used for inspection of AWS? Inspector. And which is the service used for, which is a service which will always advise? Just a second, guys. Yeah, okay, good. So, which is the service used to send emails? Emails. SCS. Which is the service used to send notifications? SNS. Which is the service used to use for queues purpose? SQS. I want, and which is the service used for monitoring my AWS resources? CloudWatch. In CloudWatch, there are two types of monitoring. So what are those? Basic monitoring and detail monitoring. And which one is free? Basic monitoring. And basic, what is the time interval for basic monitoring? 5 minutes. And detail monitoring? 1 minute. And which is the service used to monitor entire AWS environment, which is used for logging, auditing, tracking purpose? CloudTrail. Which is the service used for monitoring the changes of AWS resources? Config. And which support do we choose all the time? Basic support. Guys, what is this? What is this? I mean, huh? Super fantastic, mind blowing, on fire. Superb. Tell me, did you revise? Maximum no. Right? Right? So do you see the magic? Am I on my words? Yes. Right. So guys, we have covered all the services that we are going to learn, and then you know in and out already. The only thing left is that we just need to go ahead and then learn deeper now. And deeper also will be the same like this only. Fantastic, guys. I really appreciate you. Take my appreciation claps. Very good. Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay. Nice. That's why I said, do not fear, Reyaj sir, he is here. Let me share my screen. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? And as I said, so let's take the first service that we're gonna learn, and which is IAM. So let's talk about IAM. Let's go deep dive. IAM deep dive. So there are two types of users in IAM. What are those? Root user and IAM user. So what is the root user, guys? Root user has what kind of permissions? Root users has full permissions, whereas IAM user has, we know that it has limited permissions. Limited permissions. So can I say that here permissions are nothing but policies here? Policies. Permissions are nothing but policies. So we will write a policy. We'll talk about the policies soon, but here for now, just understand permissions are nothing but policies. So I can create many IAM users, right? I can create many IAM users like yeah, Abhi, like Shravani, Santosh, Srinu. So it's like this, I can create multiple users, right? Finally, we have Saga. Okay, let's provide for Abhi, what kind of permission should we give? Just tell me, guys. For Abhi, what kind of permission should we give? You know the services names. Let's give EC2. And for Shravani, what kind of permission should we give for her? Let's give S3. For Santosh, what kind of permission should we give? Let's give what? RDS. For Srinu, CloudFront. Okay. And for Sagar, I'll give admin permissions. So if for admin permissions, I said can have full access except bill. So if he want access for that, he can give, but by default, you don't get billing access for that, even though he is an admin. So we can create the users, IAM users like this, and we can give the proper permissions for them that we know. So do you all agree that IAM used for security purpose in short form? Agree? IAM is used for security purpose. So we can create users and we can give the permissions and we can control who want to access what. So with IAM, you can control entire AWS resources centrally. Yes or no? We can control the entire AWS resources centrally from one place. Yes, by giving the proper permissions, we can control the entire stuff. So, and by the way, should I tell you one interesting and important thing for you here? Guys, IAM is free. IAM is completely free. How much ever you have used, how many hours, lifelong, IAM service is completely free for all the customers. So we can also do anything in IAM. So IAM is completely free. And you can ask, IAM or is regional or global? Guys, IAM is global. IAM is global. So why it is global? Guys, tell me here. See here, I have created an user called Abhi. I created a user called Abhi here. Can you tell me, Abhi can go and launch an EC2 instances? Yes. Can you tell me, Abhi can go and launch EC2 instance only in Mumbai? No. He can go and launch in any region. So whatever you do in IAM, it's for all regions, not specific to any region. Not specific to any region. He can change the region and he can launch in any region. Until unless you can give a separate policy that he should be creating only in Mumbai. By default, he can go ahead. You created a user called Stravani. Stravani can go and find and go for all regions, no? Yes. So that's why whatever we do in IAM is global. It's applicable for all regions. That is why it is called it as IAM is global. Yes. Yes. So guys, here, what do we attach it here? EC2, S3, these are all policies only, no? EC2 policy, S3 policy, RDS policy, CloudFront policy. These are all the policies now that we have attached for the IAM user. So guys, here the policies concept is, remember, for IAM user, you can attach and detach policies. Policies nothing but permissions anytime. Guys, anytime I can go and take off C2 permissions and give something else for Abina. And I can take off S3 policies to Savini. I can give some other, or I can give multiple policies now for any of the IAM users. Yes. So remember, anytime you can go and attach and detach the policies and permissions to the IAM users. Is this clear? Getting it? Everyone? Slowly, aram se. Nice. Non-IT? Okay. So guys, everyone has created your own root account. That meaning by default that itself is called root account. Everyone have their own AWS account, right? Console, you have signed up to the console. So now I'm asking you one question, right? I'm asking a question. If you want to share, guys, if you want to share your account to others, what you do? Will you share your email ID and password to others in order to access your account? What you do for that? Someone is asking your account. What you do for that? Hmm? Yes. So guys, so if someone is asking you, very good, Vipin. If someone is asking you to have your account, guys, instead of sharing your email ID and password, what you should do, create? You should create an IAM user and give it to him. So guys, if anyone asks you, is it possible to share your account? Yes, it is possible to share your account. But will you share your email ID and password? Guys, don't share your email ID and password to others anytime. At any cost, do not share your email ID and password. So instead, what you want to do, if someone is asking, hey, I want to access your account, what you want to do? You can share AWS root account by creating IAM users. By creating IAM users. Yes? So this would be a certification questions. So if someone is asking, is it possible to share your root account? Guys, definitely no if you want to share your email and password, but you can share your account, AWS account, by creating IAM users and giving proper permissions. Okay? Clear? Nice. So, and tell me, is it possible or recommended to use your root account for all your daily activities and daily work? Right? Answer, you said no. So what you said is perfectly right. So it is not at all recommended to use a root account for daily activities. Instead of that, which account we should use? which user we should use? IAM user. Because guys, see, most of the root account, guys, tell me honestly, many of the people over here, their email ID and password have been saved in the browser, mostly in the browser. Most of the people. Yes? Tell me honestly. Definitely, most of the people store their email ID and password in the browsers. It has saved. So how much time will it take for a hacker to hack your email ID and password which is stored in the browser? It's very easy for him. In seconds, he can do it. So if the email ID and password has been hacked, that means indirectly he can enter to your root account and he can do what kind of stuff, all kind of jingalala, he can do it. And also it will be nowadays, guys, it is very easy to analyze or to assume or to guess the passwords of many users. So the passwords will be mostly like you and me at the rate 143, me and my Kasak at 143, me and my John 143, right? At the rate 2022, huh? Infi at the rate 123 plus. All these standard nasty passwords, most of the people have it already. So it is very easy for an hacker to write a small program for a permutations and combinations and hack the password. So remember, guys, it is not at all safe to recommend to use your root account for your daily activities or work. Instead, you should use IAM user. Do you agree with this point? Everyone understood that point? It is not at all recommended to use root account for daily activities or work. Instead, use IAM user. Okay, there is a question, sir. Then what is root account you use for? Root account you don't use for anything. What is the purpose of having a root account? Root account you just create it, that's it. IAM cannot be created without root, right? How? The child will come with the parents only. No? If parents are not there, how come child will? So IAM cannot be definitely created without a root account. So the root account, the main account should be there. After then, inside that, you go to the IAM user, you go to the IAM service, and then create IAM users there. So now, guys, so yes. So guys, are you in the danger position now because everyone has the root account and most of the people have the password saved in the browser? Yes or no? Are you in critical position? Are you in danger position? Yes. What the hacker will do? Hacker we can easily find out your password and then he can launch big machines and he can do whatever he want and all the bill will come to you. All the bill will come to you. So now you should tell me, sir, tell me what to do. So tell me what to do. Someone already said, sir, jaldi bolo, kya karna hai? Bolo, sir. Right? So guys, yes. So if let's say, for example, you have an organization and you're working there and you're using the root accounts and then all of a sudden hacker hacked and then all machines got terminated. Whatever you're using, all machines are terminated. Is it good? So would you get in your mind that, sir, if the root account and email ID and password has if compromised, everything is gone? Yes, everything is gone. Right? So for this reason, AWS has implemented something called MFA. What is that? MFA. MFA. MFA stands for multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication. So guys, this multi-factor authentication, you need to download a tool called Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator or whichever it is. So in your phone, how does it work is, guys? So guys, whenever you log into the console, you will get email ID and password and then log in. Yes or no? Email ID, password, and then login. So once you click on login, you will be logged into the AWS console. So if you use this MFA, what will happen is this MFA you need to install on your phone, on your mobile phone. Once you install, what app you need to install? Google Authenticator app, you should install it. Google Authenticator app. So once you install that Google Authenticator app, and then you need to configure this MFA for your root account. Where do you configure this MFA for your root account? In AWS console. And I'll tell you that complete procedure in coming days, but listen now. So once you configure the MFA for a root account, and whenever you log into the console, you will give email ID and then password. And once you click on enter or submit or login, it will ask, please provide MFA code. Then you need to open your phone and open Google Authenticator, and it will give you some 6 digits, or I don't remember how many digits, some 6-digit code with only 10-second validation, only 10-second time period. So that 6-digit code, you need to mention it in the console and then click on enter, then only you will be able to log in. So guys, like this, if you do it, your entire console or entire AWS account will be secured. Is it possible for any hacker to hack your phone and then get that 6-digit code, which is valid for the 10 seconds? No, not possible. So like this, you can secure your AWS account. Do you understand what is MFA now? So now you tell me, MFA is only for root account, only for IAM account, or for both? Excellent. That is a certification question. MFA is highly recommended for root account and IAM user as well. Because IAM user also have EC2 full permissions or like this, right? So it is always recommended for both. Definitely 100% both. So for each and individual IAM user, we need to set up MFA. Agree? So we need to set up MFA for every individual IAM user. For every individual IAM user. So how does it work? Simply what you need to do. So guys, open AWS page as you always open. Then it will ask for login with email ID and then password. Once you log in with IAM password, it will ask for MFA code. Once you provide the MFA code, it will log into AWS console. This is how it works. All these things we'll do it in practicals. Do not worry. Is this clear till here, everyone? Okay. Is root, don't get that SSO here. Okay, is root account SSO? Can you like, yes. Yes, Jyoti, that SSO is not now. It's always good to have root account. Guys, the question is invalid if you ask me, Jyoti. Is it good to access using the root account in multiple machines simultaneously? By the way, why you are sharing that root account to multiple people? Not good, right? So root account should be only with one person, and the rest of the people should have IAM user. But that should be get kicked off if you logged in. Yeah. Yes, it should be possible to log in. I never tried that. Maybe you can try later when we go into practicals. So guys, next important thing is, guys, there are 2 ways to access AWS. Yes, you can have. Arfat, you can have. So guys, there are 2 ways to access AWS. How many ways that you can access AWS, everyone? How many ways you can access AWS? There are 2 ways to access AWS. So number 2 ways. There are 2 ways to access AWS. Number 1 is the ways that you are already accessing it, which is called console access, right? And the second, and the another one is called programmatical access. Write down 2 ways. What are those 2 ways? Console access and programmatical access. Console access and programmatical access. So guys, console access meaning already you guys are using it already. Yes or no? You're already using it. Console access. So that meaning your AWS console, console website. Okay. That means all the GUI graphical user interface you have it, na? Click here and all. How do you log in with your AWS console? Using your email ID and password or username and password. Yes or no? How do you log into the console? Using email ID and password or username and password. What is that email ID and password if you are logging in? That is called root account. And what is the username and password that you are asking? That is called IAM account. This is what we are doing it. IAM you have not created, but only email ID and password you are logging. That is called console access from the GUI based. The other way is programmatical access. That meaning, guys, programmatically also you can access it. Like meaning like from CLI, command line interface, SDKs, software development kits, right? And some other developer tools. Some other developer tools. For example, guys, can you launch an EC2 instance using Python code? Answer is yes. That meaning you're accessing AWS environment, you're accessing AWS to launch an EC2 instance using the code, right? That are SDKs. So let's say, for example, how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 steps. But we have from the CLI. What is CLI meaning? Command line interface. From command line interface, there is only one command only to launch the EC2 instance. 7 steps in one command. That is called command line interface. From the commands also, you can access AWS services or you can access AWS. So programmatically also, you can access AWS here. So guys, here, how do we authenticate AWS console? Using email ID and password. But here also, guys, programmatically also you should authenticate, na? Right? Programmatically also you should authenticate, na? Yes. How do you authenticate? You can authenticate using keys. What is that? Keys. The keys are nothing but write down access key and secret key. Write down those 2 words. Access key. Everyone should write access key and secret key. Access key and secret key. Access key and secret key. You know, how does this access key and secret key look like? So it looks like some random things. Let's say, for example, access key, secret key. So access key looks like this. Some like this. And secret key also look like some like this, some random. So guys, access key is like username and secret key is like password. But we have used username and password in here on the console access. Na? That's why we should not use username and password. You should be using only access key and secret key. You don't need to remember this. You need to just copy paste and keep it somewhere. How do you remember all these things? So using this, we do the CLI authentication or any programmatical authentication. CLI authentication. Understood? Understood? So guys, remember, for every IAM user, guys, every individual user can access AWS using console also can access AWS using programmatically also. Agree? Let's say we have a user called here Rahul. So whenever I created a Rahul, I have created a Rahul account, IAM account, see, IAM account, and he has EC2 permissions. What kind of permissions that he has? I have given EC2 permissions. Now tell me. So Rahul can have two types of access. Yes or no? Rahul can have two types of access. What are those? Console access, and then here programmatical access. So yes or no? Now question for you here is, whenever, guys, for what kind of permissions that Rahul has? EC2 permissions, right? What kind of permissions? EC2 permission. Whenever he access a console, what kind of permissions that he will have? EC2 only. And programmatically also, what kind of permissions that he has? EC2 only. So remember, so the permissions are same for both console and programmatical access for the user. Getting it? So like this. So here, you know very well. Here you use email ID and password. And here you use what? Here you use keys. Here you use keys. So every individual IAM user will have its own keys. Yes or no? So keys are in IAM specific, IAM user specific. Yes, remember, keys are user specific. So individual IAM user have their own keys. So no, every user will have their own keys in order to access programmatically. Is it recommended to share the keys to anyone? It is not recommended to share the keys to anyone. No, not good. Not good. Guys, in the console access, if for the console you have at least MFA to safeguard. Here for keys, there is no MFA. So you have to be very, very, very careful with the keys. So is it good to create your keys unnecessarily? Or can you tell me, is it mandatory to create the keys, guys? No, for Rahul, if at all he need programmatic access, then only you create the keys. Unnecessarily don't create it. Create the keys based on the requirement. What is it? Sorry. Based on the requirement. Okay. So don't create it unnecessarily. Don't create it unnecessarily. Do you all agree keys also have the same like console permissions? Keys also have same permissions like console. So remember, every IAM user can have maximum 2 set of keys. How many keys that every IAM user can have maximum? Guys, 2 set of keys. So one set is nothing but like this only, na? Guys, this is one set. This is called one set. Like this is called one set. Like this, how many set of keys that you can have? 2 set. But remember, there is one bhayanak thing here. Guys, once the keys are lost, it is lost. You cannot get the same keys back. So let's see, guys, whenever you create the keys from the console, for the user, whenever you create the keys will be displayed only one time for you. How many, guys? The keys will be displayed only, especially the secret key will display only one time. The secret key will display only one time. At that time only, you need to copy it and then save it somewhere else. If you don't copy it, or you saved it and you lost it somewhere, can you see the secret key anymore from the console? No. If you don't see it from the console, is it possible to retrieve the secret key back? No. So that meaning once the keys are lost, it is lost. Can you get it back? No. What you have to do, you need to delete these keys and create the new keys. Once you create the new keys, can you get the same keys back or new keys? New keys, you will get it. So once keys are lost, it is lost. You cannot get the same keys back. You cannot get the same keys back. But you can, how many guys you can do many times you can regenerate na? You can delete it, you can create it. You can delete it, you can create it. But maximum, how many sets you can have? Maximum 2. If you regenerate, if you regenerate, you will get the new keys. You cannot get the old keys back. So secret key is visible only one time to save. There is a question, will it charge for a new key? Guys, Sheetal, do you see IAM is completely free? In order to regenerate IAM, it is necessary to take the permission route? No. Guys, let's say for example here, based on this user, can you tell me who has permissions to create IAM users? Based on the users here? Sagar. Okay, now I put like this. Now you tell me, who has permissions to create IAM users here? Sagar and Shravani. Sagar and Shravani, both. 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 Understood? So who will create the users? So anyone who has the permissions, they can go and create the users. Get it, guys? So now you tell me, is it good to create a keys for your root account? Don't create keys for root account. I'm telling you, don't use the root account itself. And then how come you can use the keys of root account? No, don't create the keys for root account. Is it clear? Everyone understood? Any questions? Ask any questions, guys. All clear on non-IT? Yes. Let us stop it here. Huh? Take the screenshots, guys. So in order to authenticate root account, we should only use console method, right? Yes. You need to log into the root account only from the console. Did you took the screenshot? Yeah. Why we cannot create, see, after watching entire movie is asking now. Why we cannot create keys for root user? Is it a valid question now? So I told you not to create the root account itself, because if you create a keys for root account, if the keys got compromised, your entire stuff, entire account is damal, it's gone. So don't, it's not recommend to use your root account for daily activities, and then don't create the keys for root account. In real time, whose job is to secure? Your manager, your grade, whoever it is. Good. Any other questions? Good. Who is user who can create? Ramakan, did you join late or what? The questions based, the questions that you're asking, that you have not listened the class. Who is user who can create keys? Guys, who can create keys? Yes. Yeah, my voice is breaking too much for you, not for others. Check your internet connection. Your 1.5 GB got over, maybe. Yes, those who has permissions, IAM user, they can create it. Great. So guys, can you give the final CC for today? Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the continuation of IAM. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.